Wisconsin has more than 15,000 lakes, many of which have long been used by Wisconsinites and visitors for boating.
But that has affected the fragile ecosystems of some lakes. Our own Jake Force has more. Jake?
Yeah, Dan and Jessica, you know, everyone loves a day or even... But some activities can cause long-lasting harm to ecosystems and shorelines by allowing things like algae and other invasive species to thrive. Today, I talked with an expert about the biggest threats posed to our local lakes and how we can manage them.
The biggest threat to our lakes is the loss of natural shoreline habitat. The loss of natural shoreline habitat means loss of wildlife, loss of scenery, and a detriment to water quality.
Ted Rolsey has served on the Oneida County Lakes and Rivers Association for 8 years. Through his work and advocacy, one of the biggest threats to our lakes he's seen is the pervasiveness of invasive species and the recreational activities that have allowed them to thrive.
Many of them were first brought over here in the ballast water of ocean-going ships, but how they get transferred from lake to lake in Wisconsin, Michigan, Minnesota, the inland lakes that we have here, is largely on boats and trailers that travel from lake to lake.
One thing Rolsey said is causing harm to lakes throughout the Midwest is wake boating. He says the way the boats are designed can cause long-term harm to shorelines and ecosystems.
These boats operate in a bow-up position. They have very powerful engines, and the prop wash from that boat goes down and can stir up the bottom sediment and release phosphorus that contributes to the growth of algae and excessive aquatic plants.
Rolsey says that wake boating too close to shorelines can be especially detrimental to lake health. He added that while some may think he's against lake recreation, that even makers of wake boats acknowledge the issue.
The people who manufacture wake boats and the wake boat dealers will tell you that wake boats perform best when they're used in deep water and far away from shore.
Rolsey himself has enjoyed a lifetime of lake activity, but says the key to recreating lakes while also maintaining them is mindfulness.
Being respectful of the properties that we own, developing them wisely, keeping a natural shoreline buffer to prevent runoff into the lake, just generally treading lightly and respecting the resource.
For more information on the health of local lakes, you can visit the Oneida County Lakes and Rivers Association website at oclra.org.